Howdy, today we'll be talking about ethanol, the biofuel's production, uses, and impacts. An introduction to ethanol: 98% of gas used in the US contains ethanol in order to reduce air pollution. Ethanol's chemical properties include being a clear, colorless liquid. It's highly flammable and soluble in many organic solvents. It's also known as ethyl alcohol or grain alcohol. It's used both in alcohol beverages and as a biofuel worldwide. It's a simple alcohol, meaning it has a single hydroxyl group attached to the carbon of an alkyl group. The source ethanol is produced from a biomass, a mixture of plant materials. However, the primary source for ethanol worldwide is corn and sugarcane. In the US, corn is primary source, used in 94% of ethanol cultivation. So how's corn cultivated? Corn requires regular watering, at least 6 hours of daily sunlight, springtime temperatures, and a slightly acidic soil. Compost and other organic material is usually added to adjust the soil quality. The soil is also tilled to make a nice soil bed. A planter is a machine used to plant corn seed at a precise depths and spacing from one another, as corn seeds take a lot of moisture and nutrients. Ethanol production: there are two main production methods: starch-based production and cellulitis production. Dry mill and wet mill are the two paths. Both include starch undergoing fermentation. However, the dry includes a dry fermentation, where the wet mill includes fermentation in a wet liquid, and both produce different materials, but both produce ethanol. The second process, cellulitis, is also two path: biochemical and thermochemical. Both include in-depth chemical processes, which are listed below, but the main method is the starch-based production. Ethanol implementation status. Ethanol is a biofuel that the world's been using for centuries now. It's highly implemented in gas and alcohol beverage production. It was highly used in 1826 for engine fuel, but it became more popular after Henry Ford used it to fuel his Model T in 1908. In the US in 1981, 2 million gallons of ethanol were used as fuel. In 2022, 14 billion gallons were used. Worldwide, ethanol use reached 131 million metric tons in 2023. The carbon footprint: alcohol is a very complex carbon footprint because itself has 53.3 grams per megajoule, where gas has a carbon footprint of around 98.5 grams per megajoule. So therefore, ethanol has 46% less of a carbon footprint than gas, but that doesn't calculate several factors like the carbon emission from fuels used to produce ethanol, the loss of environment used to farm more corn, and the farming process like tilling and nitrogen fertilizers that release carbon dioxide. Economic impact: in 2023, 72,400 US jobs were directly associated with the ethanol industry, and 322,000 indirect jobs were supported due to the industry. 32.5 billion in household income was created, and it was the second largest GDP contributor of 54.2 billion to the national market. Public acknowledgement: the US government's had several policies. The energy tax credit, which created tax exemptions for gas blended with alcohol like ethanol. The American Job Creation Act of 2004 gave a 45-cent tax credit per gallon of gas mixed with ethanol. The Clean Air Act required cleaner gas blends to reduce air pollution, which includes ethanol use. The Renewable Fuel Standard, as part of the Energy Policy Act, require the minimum volume of renewable fuels like ethanol to be blended into transportation fuels. My analysis: corn and sugar are essential for ethanol production. Dry milling is more common due to it being more cost effective, but only produces ethanol and grains. Wet milling is less cost effective, but produces ethanol, starches, etc. Ethanol is highly implemented with less of a carbon footprint than pure gas and has a positive environmental impact overall. Challenges include environmental concern and efficiency. Recommendation: if funding was an issue, buy ethanol from other countries, then there will be no cons. But otherwise, research into ethanol production that requires the cost and energy needed to produce ethanol while reducing the starch density. research into farming materials that might reduce land needed, harmful chemicals or gas emissions, and place funding into better transportation and distribution of ethanol to reduce cost and gas emissions.